Get myself right up on out of here. I feel like a disgrace, I'm not really what I appear. I go home to my girl and I make nicey nice. The fact that she don't know that I just put someone on. I don't like being here. I constantly live in fear. Could be gone at any time. When you live a life of crime, you have to face the music and do the time. Welcome everyone to Mayhem Tainment. This is episode 35, Wrestling Society Network. I have with me the president of the WSN, Herman Professor Bear Cade. Welcome to Mayhem Media and Mayhem Tainment, Professor Bear.
Thank you for having me. I've been actually looking forward to this interview.
Excellent. I'm glad. I always love when people are looking forward to my interviews and coming on my show, especially because we're building. We're starting a company and we're a little bit small yet, but I'm always happy when people have heard of us or are excited to come on our show. So now please check out Marcus Frederiksen does our music. He plays us in and out of every episode of Mayhem Tainments and most things that Mayhem Media does. Check him out, reverbnation.com/Marcus Frederiksen, and share out your favorite song. Please leave us a comment. We share out his music all the time. We miss him. He's not with us anymore, so we're going to continue to use his music for as long as we can. You can also go check out the apparel line that was started in his honor by his sister, The Humankind, and that's on Facebook, facebook.com/thehumankind, and go pick up some apparel. Tell them Mayhem Media sent you, and yes, do that as well. And of course, check out our storefront, bonfire.com/store/JDE Designs. That's with a Z at the end of it. I am going to make Mayhem Media its own storefront with its own name eventually in the next couple of weeks. But for now, that's where it's located, on bonfire.com/store/JDE Designs. That's with a Z at the end of it. And of course, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and you can follow me on Twitter at JD@MayhemPrez. Professor Bear, where can we find the WSN?
Well, you can find it on Facebook. We have a page, and we just hit, I think it was 2,200 members, if I'm remembering correctly. So we're very happy about that. We also on X, and I believe we also have a my partner is going to kick me in the butt for not remembering, but I think we have Twitch. I think it's a Twitch.
Okay, Twitch as well. Okay,
yeah, I'm almost sure.
And let me say, for their Amazon, that also their app is available on Amazon, on Apple TV, on Roku. And did I miss? Is there another one, or did I get them?
Apple. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so and make sure at least on Amazon, if you can't find Wrestling Society Network, search for WSN, because I was searching for them on Amazon and could not find them, and he told me to search for WSN. It came right up, so it's possible the other ones are like that too. So
yeah, I believe they are.
WSN or Wrestling Society Network, and you will be able to find them. And I did just check your page for you. You are currently at 2,100 members, likely over 2,100 members.
Oh, all right, thank you.
So yes, that's a heck of a group, and Mayhem Media will be on there shortly. So maybe we'll be the 2,200. Maybe we'll be the 2,200th person. I don't know if I just said that right. I think I just butchered that, but we're about to be following them too as soon as I finish filming this episode. So
make sure you go follow them on Facebook. It's just a group page. It's actually not something you have to follow. It's a group page, especially if you're a content producer. They're looking for anybody who's producing content as well. There's no sign up charge. You don't owe anything. They're just looking to make a community on their Facebook group page. So make sure you go definitely check them out, especially if you're a content producer, because speaking from experience, getting your product out there is so important, as I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So now now that we've paid all the bills for both of us, what is the Wrestling Society Network?
Well,
doesn't know.
So the Wrestling Society Network is, well, let me start it this way. It was an idea started by the CEO, Brady Owens, and he started it in 2018. And it was just with his love of wrestling, he wanted to do different things like podcast and just different aspects of wrestling. So then he realized very quickly that he could not do all of it himself. So he took a step back, and then he started to look for a team. And it was 2021 where he put out on Facebook that he was looking for co-hosts. So I saw it, and I didn't think anything about it, to be truthful. And I told my, at the time, fiance, which she's my wife now, and she was like, "Yeah, you need to do it. You like to debate." I'm like, "But nobody's gonna want to hear me talk about wrestling." She's like, "Baby, you'll debate against God if he came down." So after thinking about it, I sent him my video, and I was shocked. Within an hour, Brady hit me up and we talked, and I became one of the members. So from there, with a couple other guys, we started the podcast, and just, of course, giving our takes on different things. And we were rolling pretty good. For us, we were really surprised on some of the numbers, and we were actually getting people worldwide, which was really a shocker for us.
Yeah.
So then we decided, hey, let's do a 2K promotion. It seemed popular, and hey, we always want, who wouldn't want their own promotion to do it their way? So we put that together and did a few episodes, did a pay-per-view, and
I've always wanted to do something like that too. That sounds like so much fun to me.
Oh,
like
man.
To record you playing the game, or even just letting the computer play it out itself. Like that sounds like so much fun to me. I've wanted to do that forever. I had to go and start a media company instead of thinking to start a wrestling promotion. Who knows what would have happened? We probably wouldn't even be here right now if I had. But
right.
I've always wanted to do that. It sounds like so much fun.
Well, man, when we did it, again, we were shocked at the numbers.
I know, it's crazy.
It's like the biggest one we've done so far. I think we hit like almost 20,000 people looked at one of our pay-per-views, and we noticed we were trending overseas heavily.
Wow.
And it just blew us away. And I think that we saw that, and again, we got to thinking and talking about it. It's like, man, you know what? We should be able to do more things for wrestling. So we're like, hey, we'll do this. We'll do it on Facebook and just invite people, let them know, hey, we just won't create. You want to know different wrestling? We'll put it out there. Let's have a community where wrestling is key. So doing that, and then of course Brady gets the bright idea of, hey, you know what? We're gonna do a website. But then before we knew it, he's like, hey, let's do an app. An app would be real good. We got a bunch of content, and hey, we can have other people join us. and maybe we can even get wrestling promotions. Lo and behold, we got a few wrestling promotions. We got our product. We have other content, and it's like, oh wow. So basically, with all of that, it is a community for people to be easier to reach different wrestling content. Like I said, we have other content creators. We have wrestling bios. We have documentaries. We have comedy wrestling. We're actually comedian wrestling that joke about wrestling. We have so much different things. We're in the middle of trying to get something very special that I think a lot of people will appreciate. That's a little outside the norm, I would say, because you nowadays you have death match and you have the old school type wrestling. But I saw something and I thought, man, if we can get that, it's gonna really, really push us over what we're doing. And to be honest, it's the love for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to have a passion for what you do, or it's not. It's going to seem too much like work. Not that what you guys are doing isn't work, because Mayhem Media is doing something similar, just not centered around wrestling. We're making like an entertainment network, not just centered around wrestling. So I understand what you mean. You have to like what you do. I mean, you have to have a passion for it, because if you don't, then it's going to be too overwhelming, and then you're going to get tired of it, because you can't. I mean, I'm sure you can relate. There are times I love building Mayhem Media. I've loved building it from what it's become. It's been amazing so far. But there are some days, sometimes where I'm just like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to do everything I have to do today. Like there's just and if you didn't have that passion, then those days would be near impossible to get through.
Oh yeah. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, we got wrestling games. How could I forget wrestling games? We got different content creators that review different wrestling games and things like that also.
Do you have a favorite wrestling game, since you brought up the games? Do you have a favorite?
Like not favorite, but one of the ones I really enjoy playing is No Mercy for the N64.
Oh man, you went old school on me with that one. Yeah, that's a good one. That was really the first time a wrestling game really. I mean, that was like the first time a wrestling game really let you create a wrestler, like with like full on creation. The amount of creation that game had was crazy, and that was one of the first ones to have that level of creation.
Yeah, I actually, like I said, I went to the point of just me wanting wrestling games and collecting them. I have the first WWF wrestling game on Nintendo. I have the first WCW/NWA wrestling game on Nintendo.
Yeah, those are great games too.
Yeah.
My favorite was I was just trying to look it up quick to see if I could figure out which one it was, but I can't figure it out. It's the one where there were 3 Stings. He was in the WWE. I'm thinking it might have been I'm really 2K16. I think maybe it might have been.
Yeah,
it's the one. There were 5 versions of Stone Cold and 3 versions of Sting and 3 versions of The Undertaker, and like multiple versions of people, and then they had a whole bunch of DLC that they brought in WCW guys, and then they had WCW versions of those characters. That was my favorite. Me and my buddy always played together, and we always like to do like what you guys do with you build a universe. Like we booked the shows, we did some of the matches we just let play out or whatever. We never thought to record it and put it on TV. We missed a huge opportunity there, but That was my favorite one because of, I mean, Sting in with all the WWE guys was huge for me because Sting was always on the WCW wrestlers. We never got to have him with the W. So that was big. That was why I chose that as my favorite, because I'm a Sting fan, and having him with all the WWE guys, with all the WCW guys, and all the different variations was really awesome. I think that's one of the best ones that there's been. Although I know how realistic they are right now.
Yeah, but again, it's like you said, it's that first opportunity to get that one character that you never had, and you finally get them, and you get to put them against the WWE. Yeah, it's so amazing to me, especially since they, after the letdown of WW 2K20. Man, 22 came back, and that's why I was like, oh my God, I have to start buying this again. And I've gotten them. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go back and get all these old ones because I love them. And I've been putting in work, all different type of systems. Matter of fact, I actually finally found one for the Sega CD. That's a rare wrestling game, and I found it, and I'm gonna get it probably next week.
Wow! For anybody who doesn't know, the Sega CD was Sega's first version of a disc-based game. It didn't last very long at all because the Sega Saturn, they released the Sega Saturn, which was better in just about every possible way. It eliminated all the problems with the Sega CD, but the Sega CD is a short-lived system. The fact that there's even a wrestling game for that is crazy. I had no idea there was even a wrestling game for that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my first real wrestling game was, I mean, I played some of the, I played the Nintendo one and, and stuff, but the first one that I really played, like, as a teenager and stuff, was I got the WCW Nitro for the PlayStation 1.
Yes, I played that.
I played that so long when I first got. In hindsight, it's really not that great of a game, but at the time, it was phenomenal.
Exactly.
That's the great thing about some of those games, though, is that going back, some of them definitely aren't as good as the ones they are now. But if you go back and play them, especially some of the Nitro was a combo button game, a button combo game, not just like directions and this button, directions on the D-pad and this button or the sticks, but actual using button combinations was pretty. That's not something a lot of wrestling games did did very well either.
Yeah, that's very true.
So let's talk about wrestling then for a second. Do you have a favorite wrestler, or would you have a favorite era or time period of wrestling?
I will honestly, my favorite time period is probably the mid 80s. That's where I was a kid, and I got to learn about the Horsemen and Dusty. And my dad actually got me into wrestling, and
same here.
And it was at 6:05 on Saturday, you knew not to make noise because we were watching Georgia Championship Wrestling. Then it went to NWA World Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, and then eventually into WCW. That's one of my.
Yep.
I mean, WCW. I was always a WCW over WWE guy, and I could go back, and I'm definitely an NWA guy over a WWE guy. I've never been the biggest fan of WWE and their product. I respect what they do, and I have watched them before, but I'm not the biggest fan of theirs. I'm definitely a WCW NWA guy. And the Horsemen are is my favorite stable. If I had to pick a favorite stable, they're going to be on my Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Spoiler alert, everybody. I'm going to put the Horsemen on my Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Maybe we'll have to have you do one of those as well. We select one male superstar, one female superstar, one tag team, and one stable.
Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to have you on. Don't give us the answer now. We'll save it and give you some time to think about it, and then we'll have you on a special, and you can do your own Mount Rushmore.
That sounds good.
Yeah. But what about a favorite wrestler? This is somebody that got you hooked.
Well, I guess when I was in those days, Lex Luger was my guy. And I don't know what it was about Lex because he wasn't the best wrestler.
No,
His promos wasn't the great,
nope.
but it was just something about Lex that I just loved to death. And he was my guy. And of course, Dusty Rhodes, love Flair, even though he was a heel, just love Flair.
Yeah, me
And
too. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, and probably out the Horsemen, Arn Anderson by far was my favorite
Yeah, for sure.
because Arn he would be the first guy. If you stepped to the Horseman, you had to get through him to get to the other ones. And if you mess with Rick, you was got to go through Arn. Arn was the true glue that held the Horsemen together. And it just bothers me that he never got a world title run.
Yes, he's definitely would be up there on the list in terms of people who should have gotten a world title run who never did. No doubt. But I mean, he did, but he's got other accolades. I mean, he's got other accolades. You know, he's a multi-time TV champion, tag team champion, television champion. He's got other accolades under his belt there, and I think people are always going to remember him as the guy, as how you just described, as the guy who was just always there. Yeah, you want someone of the Horsemen? Well, you're going to get me first, and then you can. If there's anything left, the rest of them will get it.
Right, exactly.
And the man. I was gonna say the man who perfected the spine buster, who nobody does it as good as him. Nobody does it as good as him. I don't care. I mean, Triple H does a good one, and there's some other people out there who do good ones, and they all resemble Arn Anderson's. I don't care who you are. Any good spine buster out there today looks similar to an Arn Anderson spine buster. That's just the way it is. And then the DDT, Jake the Snake, of course, credit to him for the DDT. He certainly put in his, he gave the DDT its name as well, but Arn Anderson, definitely the spine buster and the DDT, man. Those were always, he has those two moves perfected.
It was just something about seeing him throw that DDT. It like you said, Jake, of course, he was the inventor of it, but something about Arn, the way he did it, just always like, oh, they did. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, Jake did his little, like, he would, spin his finger around and stuff, and like he would call out for it, and then he would do the DDT. Arn's could just be like a snap DDT. It'd be like, oh my goodness, there was a DDT. Like it just can happen so fast. And yes, I understand. Anybody who might be commenting right now is probably talking about Raven, and I don't care. Raven's DDT is fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not as good as Arn. It's not as good as Jake the Snake's. That's just the way it is. So I'm not a fan of Raven's DDT as much. But then again, I'm not the biggest Raven fan, though I respect what he does. Like, because I know that the guy Raven himself is not anything like the wrestler Raven. So that's mad props for the Raven character and everything that he's done and pulled out with it. But I'm not a fan as much of it. I don't get the whole self, what about me? What about Raven? I don't care about you, Raven.
Definitely, I can understand it. It was something about Raven, and from him going from Johnny Polo to Raven.
I know.
That just I just couldn't. I understood it, and I thought it was a great character change. But it was something that every time I see him, he didn't look the same, but it was something that I just want to scream out, Johnny Polo.
Yep. Yeah. He definitely shouldn't have done that. But I guess everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody's got a gimmick they didn't like, or where started somewhere where they didn't want to. But yeah, it was hard to get away from that, even with his Raven gimmick, even going that hard. You still were like, yeah. And Lex Luger, interesting that you chose Lex Luger. He's definitely not somebody who I don't think would get chosen a lot to be like their favorite or something like that. I am a fan of Luger, though. I always liked when he did longer matches, like when he did longer matches, 30, 25, 30 minutes, then it worked a little bit. Luger worked a little bit better. He always looks so tired after his matches. When he does a 10-minute match, he shouldn't be sucking wind that hard, is what I'm saying. I mean, there's a time when you can look like you're winded and tired, and then there's times where, come on, we're not buying it. But that's interesting that you chose Luger. Sting was always my favorite. So, and Sting and Luger had their history both against each other and as a tag team. So, yeah, I respect the Luger choice for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's funny too, because generally when I'm asked that question, it's like, well, and it's hard for me because there's so many different wrestlers out there. Like right now, if you ask me who my current favorite wrestler is, Samoa Joe. I mean, I love Joe, and I'm just so happy that AEW gave him the run he should have had in WWE.
Me too. I am glad that he is the AEW champion. I'm glad he's getting that recognition. He absolutely deserves it. I like Samoa Joe in TNA. I love his work in TNA. He's a little bigger now and doesn't quite move the same way in the ring, but he's still a hard worker. Like he still can put on those matches. I've never seen anybody that big be able to move that much for that amount of time.
Oh, and never have I seen him look winded. For him to carry that weight, he moves like a cruiserweight easily.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, he really does. And I do like that he's getting his recognition now. I honestly don't know that I would have a favorite wrestler because Sting is who I would choose, and he's retired now. We did a special episode talking about the pay-per-view and his retirement. Go check out that episode, everybody, if you haven't seen it yet. And then Darby Allin is out because he broke his foot.
Did you hear that he got hit by a bus?
Yeah, and then he just got hit by a bus. So he broke his foot, got hit by a bus. So I don't know what kind of luck he's having. I think he just needs to stay out the ring right now. I mean, he went through glass, tore his side up. Did you see him tear his side up at the pay-per-view? That was gnarly, dude. When they said it was only like 15 stitches or something like that, I said, man, how was that not like 50?
Yeah.
Because it was gnarly. I thought they were going to put staples in it, man. I was like, oh, it's bad. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. But, yeah, I think he just needs to take some time off and rest at the moment, man. I mean, he, went through glass, cut his back all up, broke his foot, got hit by a bus. The man wants to climb Mount Everest. What's he thinking?
And that's why I was saying to somebody, I said, God is looking out for him because he broke his foot so he can't go to Mount Everest.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, because I think, God's like, yo, you slow down, kid. Look what you just made Sting do. That's my thing, man. When I saw Sting jumping off 15-foot things through tables, man. I mean, I stood up out of my wheelchair. I'm up out of my wheelchair. I'm like, I'm standing up. I mean, I can't stand up. I don't have that capability. I have a motorized wheelchair. But I was standing up when he jumped off that thing going through the table. And I'm like, Sting, what are you doing? Do you know how old you are? What are you doing? So, yeah, I was like, no more of that. And I heard Darby's the one that got him to do it. I'm like, no, what are you doing to him?
I think the best thing about Sting in his retirement run, I love his no sell when he's just getting beat down and he wouldn't sell it. Oh my God, I popped every single time.
Yeah, he does do that. And then, he gets beat up for it. Oh man, and everybody can beat him up. That's the other thing. He's so he's so small, man, that it's like, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the AEW world title on him at least for a little while. I think he should get one too. I mean, I was a believer. I think Sammy Guevara could get one too, but then he kind of, every time he goes away from Jericho, he kind of goes he kind of stagnates. It's weird.
Well, and if he can stop fighting in the back with people, maybe he can go. Oh, geez.
Yeah, AEW is not without its issues. I'm an AEW fan, but it's not without its share of issues.
Oh yeah, and that's what I told some people this. Okay, stop being so tribalistic. Enjoy wrestling, because there was a time where we were down to one promotion, and y'all don't realize how close it can come again if we don't stop all this so much hating
Yeah, it's ridiculous. If you can be a fan of wrestling. Like I said, I'm not the biggest WWE fan, but that's not to say I hate them or I want them to close down. They own of all of his wrestling history at this point. WWE owns everything from the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. They own it all. It's all on our network now. So you can't, like, I don't want WWE to close just because I'm not the biggest fan of their product, and plus their product is changing now. You know what I mean? So maybe I will become a fan. Just like I don't have to hate TNA. I'm a fan of TNA too. You know, there's no reason to be, oh, I'm only this or I'm only that. It just enjoy wrestling. Like wrestling, you can still have a favorite and still like I can still be, AEW is my favorite. Doesn't mean I can't watch WWE and TNA and still enjoy what I'm watching there too.
Yeah, and definitely, like, I can deal with criticism too, because I'm an AEW fan, but I see things that I think they're doing wrong and making mistakes. But hey, name me one promotion that doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, and everybody's got an opinion, and you know, if I was running my own company, I'd be doing it my way. There'd be other people out there saying, no, you're doing it wrong. So, you know, that's the way. They're successful. They're making money. And, you know, you can't fault them for that. And WWE's turning things around too now that they have a new hierarchy, a new ownership, and a new philosophy.
Yeah.
Which I'm a fan of. So, all right, let's talk about, do you have, are you a fan of like tag team wrestling?
Oh yes.
Do you have a favorite tag team or a favorite tag team match maybe that you remember?
My favorite tag team, and it's funny that you bring it up because I just mentioned them, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard.
Oh yeah, definitely the Horsemen. Yeah.
And the reason why is they could wrestle any kind of style. That's why FTR puts me in the mind of them.
Oh my goodness, FTR is so good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No
FTR
problem.
is so good.
It's like a carbon copy of them.
It is. They're so good, man. They're so good.
I love it.
Yeah.
They can adjust their style. If you're a high flying team, they can go high flying. If you want to go ground, they'll go ground. If you want to go brawl, they can brawl. That's why I love them.
Yeah, and FTR would be my favorite tag team today, definitely, hands down. That's who I would select as my favorite tag team. I think they are the best right now, and I think that I loved when they had the AEW strap and the Ring of Honor straps and the AAA straps. Like I was like, yes, give them the gold, give them all of it.
I was and man, and I hate that Jay Briscoe passed, because they had the greatest 3-match series. Man, loved it.
I only got to see some highlights. I didn't get to see the actual matches, but the highlights, I mean, those I saw them at the end too. And man, those two teams, yeah, they could have feuded for the next decade easily and put on some amazing, great matches.
Yeah.
The Briscoes were an amazing tag team as well, and I think his brother is definitely doing good. I mean, he's a Ring of Honor champion now, isn't he?
Yep.
What do you think about that? I've heard people. Let's talk about that for just 1 second. Because there's a lot of people saying that they gave it to him. That's a gift. They gave it to him. It's not a real, but it's great that they gave it to him. I'm like, I think it's great that they gave it to him, certainly, or didn't give it to him, but I think it's great that they selected him to be the top of their company. And I do believe that he deserves it. Just because he's an accomplished tag team wrestler doesn't mean that he can't be a singles guy. He's known. He's a known person. He's a draw. And so I don't think it was a gift. How do you see it?
No, it definitely wasn't a gift. I think it was the right thing for a couple of reasons. One, in remembrance of his brother, of course, is great. He is a great singles wrestler on his own too, and I think it was only a matter of time before he won it. So I thought that was like the best thing they could do for the time. And you have so many different wrestlers there that he can match up so well with. I think, man, If they didn't, I thought they would have been idiots, to be truthful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he can put on some good matches with some of the Ring of Honor's roster. And let me ask you about Ring of Honor now. A lot of people are saying maybe to do like a brand expansion or to make Ring of Honor like the NXT of AEW. What are your thoughts on Tony Khan owning both Ring of Honor and AEW? What would you like to see him do? If you were advising Tony Khan, what would you advise him to do?
If I was advising Tony, I would tell him, let's get them separated. Let's get Ring of Honor a TV deal. And let's put some real mustard into them being separate from AEW. One of the little nitpicks I have is you have a lot of wrestlers come from AEW, go to Ring of Honor, and vice versa, and it's hard to make people care about them on the separate brands. You got to separate them to, I think, that to have longevity.
Yeah, I think so too. I think separating. There's no reason you can't still do crossovers or whatever. Sorry if anybody heard any ringing for a minute. But yeah, I think so. I think you can still have crossover between Ring of Honor and AEW and still put on some of those good matches sometimes. But I think you do need to separate them, because they are separate companies. And Ring of Honor's got a rich history as well. And I think people would be hesitant and resistant to making Ring of Honor the minor leagues or something like the under promotion of AEW. I think the diehard Ring of Honor fans would have a problem with that because they have such a history too. So I think the only way to do it is to separate it. I think he should do it. I think he should try and be working, and maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe that's what's taking so long, but he needs a streaming service. He needs to be on with a streaming service at this point. TNT, I respect that he's with TNT and TBS, but their streaming capabilities are, forgive me, everybody and anybody representing TNT and TBS, your streaming services are garbage. Anywhere that TNT and TBS are it's crap. It's overpriced. It's so hard to get their content. And that's why I think they need to get off of TNT and TBS or stay on it if they want, but you need to be on a streaming service like Max or like WWE is now with Netflix and Peacock. Now they're going to be on both. AEW's really got to make a move here. Get in with Hulu, get in with Max, get in with Amazon, do something because you need that. TNT and TBS don't have that capability. They don't have that streaming capability. And that is the biggest thing that they're missing right now, I think.
Yeah.
Because the cable companies around here, at least in the area, Pennsylvania, if you want to get cable, like you're going to be spending like $60-$70 a month for cable. And then you're going to have 50 channels you don't want anyway. And TNT doesn't have like its own streaming service. And anywhere you can get TNT, like Sling and other things, they're so overpriced. So I think that's the thing that's holding them back too right now is they need to be somewhere with a streaming service.
I think they and I've heard rumors that they're going to end up being with Max, and I think that's what everybody is waiting on.
That's what I've been waiting on. But if they're listening, hey, if you're listening right now, Tony Khan, if you're listening to Mayhem Media, you know what you should do. You should reach out to Professor Bear here, and you should get AEW on the Wrestling Society Network. That's what you should do.
Man, we would love it. We would love it, and I would tell him that promotion we would run for him will be top notch.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Tony Khan, Mayhem Media is here to back you up as well. If you need anything, in regards to that, we're here for you, Tony. Reach out. We're here for you.
Just pick up the phone, text me. I'm always available.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, text the Professor Bear here on WSN and text me, Mayhem Media. We will be happy to help you. We can help you. We really can. I promise. So, but anyway, yes, make sure you check out everybody, WSN, the Wrestling Society Network, WSN. Make sure you search for both because one may not come up for you. Didn't on Amazon for me. You have to search WSN on Amazon. So just make sure you keep that in mind. You're on your app is on. Let's see if I can remember this right. You're on Roku, Amazon, and what else am I forgetting?
Apple TV.
Apple TV. That's the one I was forgetting. So their app is on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon. Pick it up. They have lots of content, independent promotion content on there as well. So make sure you check that out and sign up. Now they're a free app right now. You guys are pre-revenue, right? You don't mind me saying that?
No. Yeah,
So,
and I mean, you have no excuse. You ain't paying anything for all this great content.
Yeah. The app is free, so go check it out, because if you want to look at some indie promotions and some of the stuff that they have a lot of stuff. Go check it out. It's a free app, and who knows how much longer that will be. So get it now while it's free and enjoy it while it's free, while they're still growing their company and their brand and stuff. And enjoy some independent wrestling promotion. And then shout out your favorite independent wrestler. In fact, if you're watching this episode still right now, in the comments, shout out your favorite independent wrestler in the comments and point him towards both the Wrestling Society Network and Mayhem Media. We could have him on one or both, and help them reach other people and more people as well. So reach out, leave a comment. That's what's important, is that you comment. It's not just for us, not just for our circulation and stuff, but comment somebody, an independent wrestler who needs some promotion, who needs some time on camera. I'll be glad to have them on, and maybe the company wants to work with WSN. So reach out. That's the only way. You got a network. Reach out to us. We'll definitely have you on an episode. And
Exactly.
we'd love to have you on another episode. Definitely.
Oh, definitely. We'll definitely work something out.
Yeah, absolutely. So that way we can also see how it's going then in a couple of weeks or in a month or two this summer or something like that. I'll keep you posted on some other episodes we got going, other content. Maybe you can just join us on a roundtable episode or something as well.
Man, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Mayhem Media's got a lot of stuff going on. And let me give everybody, all of those people, shout outs real quick. Joe Monroe and the Joe Monroe Show. Make sure you go check him out. And
my buddy.
Yep. And also his new show, the No Cell Roundtable, will be coming back this month. So make sure you look for that. Saw Good. Make sure you go check him out on Facebook. Saw Good. Our Into the Barricade show will be back again in June. I'm not going to talk about why that is right now, but our new show, Into the Barricade, will be back again in June. At the beginning of June, we'll be having episodes of that come back again. That'll be with Saul Good, the Last Outlaw, and Frankie Corleone, and I believe also the one and only Connor Clarkson will be they'll be the 3-man roundtable for that show. So look for that. And of course, we're going to give our friends, because he helps us a lot, even though it wasn't for this episode. I just changed his logo up in the corner there. Crander Q, Friends of the Squared Circle. We're going to give him a shout out. Make sure you look at him on Facebook and YouTube. He's getting ready to start a new logo and visual screen company. So I don't know, Ape Beard. No, I don't know what it's called. I'm not going to speculate. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but he's getting ready to start something new as well. So make sure you go check him out. Mike D's not affiliated with Mayhem yet, but we're going to give him a shout out. Wrestling from the 313.
My other buddy.
Yep, absolutely. Mike D's awesome, and we're going to be seeing him soon for a basketball episode. I think this is going to be airing before the basketball episode, but we'll be having him on for a basketball episode here soon. So, and reach out to Mike D. Tell him to join the Mayhem Media banner. I've been trying to recruit him. Reach out, tell him, be like, hey, you should just join Mayhem Media and get it over with. So, reach out to him. And Crander Q, we've been trying to recruit him. Those are 2 holdouts. They're holding out on me. So go hit them up and say they should just join Mayhem Media and get it over with. But yes, thank you for joining me, Professor Bear. And I definitely can't wait to have you on again and talk more about Wrestling Society Network. And remember, their group page on Facebook, you can just join it. You don't have to be a content producer or anything. If you're just interested in content, or if you're a content producer, sign up for the group page, please.
Yes, if you promotion, sign up for the group page and promote your promotion. If you just a fan, love wrestling, sign up and you can find out all different types of wrestling from all over. That's why we are the society. We want one place where everybody can come together and enjoy wrestling.
Absolutely. Don't bring your tribalism here, though. Keep your tribalism at home. Don't be bringing that.
That's fine. Just don't. You can be tribalistic, but don't be nasty. Everything we do is just having fun and being adult people. Please.
Being an adult, yeah. What a yeah. Actually, I think you just said that right. Be an adult. That's not hard. It's not hard to be an adult if you know how to be one. So be an adult. Okay. If you disagree with something, scroll past it. It's not that difficult. You're an adult. You have self-control.
You got your opinion. I got mine, and be done.
Yeah. It's ridiculous the way people are, and that's with all things. That's just your your public service announcement for Mayhem Media. You don't have to be tribalistic about everything. You can be different of opinions and just say, oh, okay, well, he has a different opinion than me. That's okay. We can still be friends and we can still talk to each other.
Exactly.
So definitely, and so yep, go check out them. Marcus Frederiksen's going to play us out. ReverbNation.com/Marcus Frederiksen. Go visit our storefront, bonfire.com/store/JDE Designs. That's with a Z at the end of it. And pick yourself up some Mayhem Media apparel. We have t-shirts. We have sweatshirts. We have mugs. We have travel mugs. Go pick something up and share it out. Even if not, please help us continue to grow the brand. Share this episode out. Leave us a comment. Leave a comment for Professor Bear, and we can ask him the next time he comes on. Until next time, I am your host, JD. That's the end.